if what you guys think about this. If you guys think it's exciting to have a $6,600 day, make $6,600 in Mobe commissions in just a single day. If that's something you want to know a little bit more about, if that's something that you'd like to experience for yourself, go ahead and let me know in the chat box. Let me know what you think of that, and just kind of let me know you're excited for tonight's call. So, what do you guys think? Kyle says yes. Nancy says amazing. Jesse says sounds great. Yes. Oris says hell yeah. Yes. Jose says yes, yes. That's excellent. Awesome. Yeehaw. This is great. Very excited. Ready to learn. Show us the way. Tell me, tell me. Awesome results. Very inspired. Need to learn how. Looking forward to it. Good. So I can see you guys are excited. I really appreciate the feedback. I'll ask you guys from time to time to let me know what you think in the chat box, and just to sort of keep you guys engaged and interested throughout the webinar. And also at the end, Tobias will stick around for a few minutes and take some questions. So, I will ask that you hold off on any particular questions until that point when we can go ahead and properly address them. So the chat box will be moving kind of fast. I'll try and keep an eye on it, and I just don't want to miss any questions. So we'll have a few minutes for that at the end. So I'll ask you to go ahead and hold off. But Tobias's story is pretty cool. I was chatting with him for a few minutes before we jumped on this webinar, before we fired it up, and he sort of has a common theme with some other partners in a sense where he started off doing sort of everything he was told, followed all the steps that he was told would lead to success, but still wasn't finding that success. Do any of you guys, here in the audience tonight, do any of you guys feel that you run into that as well? Do you feel like you kind of, you're doing what you should do, but for some reason it's just, the dots just aren't connecting, and things just don't seem to be working out like everybody says they should? So yes, yep, absolutely. That's me. Absolutely. Sure, says Timothy. Zona says, sounds too familiar. Roxana says, I'm like that now. And Mary says, I'm there. Good. So, I know that's a common theme. Believe me, I hear it all the time. And, that's sort of one of the things I wanted to cover here today. So, Tobias, welcome again to the call. And just so everybody, can get a little bit better of an idea about you, where are you from in the world?
I'm from Germany.
You're from
Living in
Germany?
Munich. Yeah, living in Munich right now.
In Munich. Cool. Okay. And you guys, just put a one or an okay in the chat box if you guys can hear Tobias's audio okay. I just want to make sure he's coming through loud and clear. Good. Yep. You guys can hear him fine. Awesome. So, Tobias, you live in Munich, Germany. And what time is it where you are right now?
It's 3 o'clock in the morning now.
3 o'clock in the morning. So you got up in the middle of the night, freshened up a little bit maybe, and got ready for this webinar. I mean, I salute you for that. So thank you for waking up early for us, Tobias. I appreciate that.
Matt, I thank you for having me on the Elite call, and for me, it's an absolute honor. And I'm
Good.
glad I can share my experience with other people. So I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, good, good. Thanks again. And you're already, I can tell that your level of commitment is higher than some, because there's a lot of people when, if I would have asked to, go ahead and join me on a call at 3 o'clock in the morning their time, they probably would have had some not so nice words for me. So I do appreciate you doing that for us. So you're from Germany, and how did you get into internet marketing? Like, what did you do before you got into internet marketing?
I was actually a financial trader ever since I got out of high school, and I was trading stocks for different investment banks, and later I was trading physical precious metals like gold and silver bars and coins and stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's a total different world.
Yeah, so you sort of came from the finance and investment type of background.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool, cool. And how did you kind of transition out of that business and into the internet marketing world? How did that kind of happen?
Well, I always wanted to kind of work independently for myself, and my dream was to become a trader at the floor of the New York Stock Exchange because kind of for me this is, one of the most fascinating places to work. But somehow it never worked out, and at some point while I was trading online, I think I just clicked on an ad or so, and probably was saying something like how to get rich online by doing nothing but sitting on the beach or so. And that was actually the beginning of my kind of make money online adventure.
Cool. And it's funny now because that sounds nice, right? How to make money fast and sit on the beach or whatnot. But,
Yeah.
as most of us know, that's usually not the case. And that, sort of the types of things that lead us into internet marketing. And then we come to find out that it's really a lot tougher than a lot of people make it out to be. Um, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And when you were internet marketing, is that what appealed to you? Just kind of working for yourself and having that freedom. Is that what it was? Is that was the most appealing thing to you?
Well, first of all, this was the main reason. The other reason was for me, it was just so fascinating that the thought that you only need a computer and an internet connection, and that you can sell stuff to someone else on the other end of the world. So that was for me the amazing thing with it. Well, you don't have to, like be like a local brick and mortar store. You can just, sell to anyone over anywhere in any place of the world.
Yeah, and I mean, that's absolutely true. And definitely one of the caveats of internet marketing is the reach. It's really unlimited. And with the different platforms we have available to us nowadays
Yeah.
to promote, it's the reach is really limitless. And when you did that search or whatnot, when you found that first that first thing that promised the easy riches and the beach type laptop lifestyle, what type of product or course was your first introduction into internet marketing? Do you remember what that was?
I remember the type, I can't remember the name. It was, even though I kind of was so fascinated by by the internet, I didn't really believe that it would work because I didn't know anyone who was actually making money online. So I thought everything is a scam. So for years I just, searched online and, I read about how to make money online in blogs and forums and stuff. And then somehow I stumbled upon, I think it was kind of a diet pill MLM company or so.
Yep.
I can't even remember the name, and they're probably out of business. So I went to a live meeting, and then I got so they just drew me in, and I went in. So, but then obviously the nightmare started, and the usual call your warm list like friends and family meetings and stuff, and meeting people in shady hotel lobbies, and the whole cliche.
Right, right. So you sort of had the introduction to IM coming from a live event.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
absolutely.
And so, was that something that you were comfortable with from the get-go? I know sometimes that tends to be a barrier for people. It's sort of outside their comfort zone to get into live events. Were you comfortable with that from the get-go?
No, I mean the thing was, I went to a live event. This is where I joined, but then obviously you had to recruit people like like in one-on-one meetings, and I just hated it because I don't know. It's because they said it's everyone wants your product because it was like diet pills, and they said everyone wants to be thinner and stuff. But like the boxes they just kept on piling up in my basement, and since I was so skinny, I couldn't even eat them myself. So it was just ridiculous.
They probably told you, right? The product would sell itself, right? I've heard that before.
Yeah, but the problem is, even though I was convinced that the model of MLM would work, I kind of didn't have really, I wasn't committed to sell the stuff, the product. And, besides, if you go to your warm market, let's say you call your aunt and you say, you want some diet pills, she probably says, do you think I'm fat or what? So for me, it was very hard to sell it, and I just had a hard time. So I just threw the pills in the garbage and I just quit the company because I couldn't make it work.
Yeah, right. And so, I mean, especially if it's a product or a service that you don't really believe in, or you don't use yourself, it's tough to come across as genuine, when you try and promote it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, cool. So, after that, the whole diet pill thing didn't work out. What did you do from there? Did you just kind of keep trying, or did you give up for a little while? How did that go?
No, I just kept searching and searching, and then I was trying to like produce an own info product. So I wrote all the stuff together. I wanted to uh, create something and so, but since I had quite a good paying job, I never had like the real commitment because I said, okay, I don't have to earn money, so I spend a lot of money, but I didn't have to really make it work. because I had a good paying job. So I think that's the one of the problems I had. Because if I would have had the commitment, I probably would have made it way earlier than that. So
Right, right. So yeah, you and it's funny because a lot of people look to IM because they either A, don't have a job, number one, or the job is just too low paying and they're just seeking a better option. With you having a good paying job, like you said, you weren't really forced to get into IM, and maybe that worked against you a little bit in the
yeah,
beginning.
definitely, definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, uh, you know, I think if I would have been forced, it would have been the commitment would have been way higher, and I would have made it work way quicker.
right. And kind of piggybacking on that, one of the things in Punta Cana down at the Titanium Mastermind that Matt Lloyd spoke about is when he was first involved in IM. The first company he got involved with, he made sort of a small investment and then made a quite larger investment. I think it was around 30 or $40,000, and he said that is really what kicked him into overdrive, where he felt like, look, it was his life savings up to that point. He had way too much money on the line, and failing wasn't even an option for him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think if once people are with the back to the wall, I think it they don't have a choice, so they have to make it work. So most of the time, the level of commitment goes up way higher, and then they just find a way to make it work. I mean, it was a little bit with me as well because um, I got laid off in March, and so I had to make it work. I said, okay, either I go back to I just look for a different job, a new job, or I make it work. And I just didn't want to, go back to a normal job and work for someone else and dream and build their dream because I wanted to build my own dream. So, and then I said, okay, that's the time now, now or never.
right, exactly. And that was March of last year, 2014.
No, no, this year
Oh,
was,
this year. Okay, cool.
yeah, yeah.
All right. And when you say, just going back to the information product that you created, what was that all about when you did that? What did it involve?
Well, I just wrote like a small how-to guide and how to uh, create your own product. But the
Gotcha.
problem there was I haven't had created a product that was successful, so I was like it wasn't really genuine. So and ne this never took off. So because I don't know, I just
Yeah.
forgot about it later.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that ties back into it's tough to actually see it through and find it successful if you haven't done it or if you don't really believe in it.
Yeah.
Um, so, sort of kicking around after that, and do you remember how you stumbled across Mobe, how you were introduced to Mobe?
Actually, I don't know. I think I just came across an ad from Shakir Hussein, and then no, I just signed up there. I think it was Shakir, yeah, because I then joined later with him. So
Yeah.
I think it was either subscribed to one of his lists or I just saw an ad of him.
Yeah, right, right. And if it was Shakira, chances are it was probably, in an email blast or part of a solo ad or something like that. But what do you think appealed the most to you about Mobe when it was introduced to you? What was the thing about Mobe that you thought like, hey, this might be a little bit different from some of the other things I had tried?
It was the kind of the done for you thing because yeah the done for you thing and that they call your leads because for me it was kind of the hardest part to think about when I call someone what would I tell them and the other thing is even if I would know what to tell them um, most of the time I guess I would have no idea how to what to say when they say no I don't want to buy this or something. So I thought those people who would call them they are professionals they know what to do and they probably do it for a long time and that was the thing that appealed to me you just have to get people put them in the funnel and the rest is the hard part actually the selling is done by someone else who knows what he's doing so well that was the most appealing part to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people are in your same shoes in a sense where, they either don't want to call their leads, or that, they may not feel comfortable, especially if people don't come from a prior sales background. It's not easy to, to pick up the phone and, try and coach somebody through steps, or try and, sell them additional masterminds or additional products, when it's not really your background, especially
Yeah,
like you said, once you run into objections, then what, and, the caveat, or one of the caveats of Mobe, is that we have the phone coaches that are there, and this is what they do. They do it
yeah,
every day. They're dialing, 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 and they hear the same objections over and over, so they know how to overcome them, and they're the pros. So yeah, I think that's a common thing I hear from people is, the phone coaches, and also the done for you aspect.
yeah. But it's
So
funny because, when I was as a trader, as a professional person, I could call anyone. I didn't care, and I thought, if I kind of don't get the sale, or don't get the ticket in this case, well, I'll just call someone else. So it was a total different mindset. And then when I'm kind of had to sell myself, then all of a sudden I had kind of a mental block. So, but
right.
at the end, it's more or less a numbers game as well. You just keep on calling people. But there's obviously the difference, because you have to get your leads yourself. Whereas in the financial world, it was more or less the sales traders. They got the leads, and then they just talked to me, and it was a little bit different. But I think it's just a mental thing. It's because most people, they know what to say, they're just afraid of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's definitely outside of a lot of people's comfort zone. And how long have you been in Mobe? How long ago was it that you got started?
I joined May last year.
So May of 2014,
Yeah,
and so it's been a little bit over a year now.
yeah, yeah.
And did you get involved in promoting early on? Is it sort of something you jumped into and, went from 0 to 100 miles an hour, or did you sort of get started slow?
Um, I kind of started slow, but it was more or less, I had spent so much money and so much time, with the shiny object syndrome. So I bought all those little ebooks and courses and whatnot. And at some point, I said, when I came across Mob, I said, okay, now you just concentrate on just Mob, just get it work. And so I went through all the steps, and then I obviously started promoting. And for me, the most obvious thing was solo ads, because I subscribed to Shakir's solo ad, and as Adeline Suchanta said, if you get on Shakir's list, there are only two possibilities to quit. Either you unsubscribe or you die. So it was really because he keeps on sending you every day an email. But it was fascinating for me, because I thought, uh, you know, he wasn't really like promoting things all the time, although he does, but I didn't realize it. But then I thought, okay, so solo ads works for him, and I mean, he was promoting his solo ad agency, and so I started with solo ads. But since I didn't have a strong follow-up series like he has, I couldn't make it work, and I still can't make it work. I don't know. So, but I lost some money there, and then I kind of all of a sudden, like my commitment went down a little bit. It's like, oh, it's another thing I can't make work. And so I took it a little bit slower, but I did all the time stuff, and I thought, I'm working now. I'm implementing. I'm taking action. I'm still not getting anywhere. So I got a little bit frustrated, and then I actually went to a traffic webinar, no, traffic weekend from Shakir in London,
Okay.
and then more or less, that was like a very intense weekend. It cost like $5,000, so the commitment was there. And then he just opened up his I don't know, his business. He showed us everything, how he converts them, what he sends them, the psychology behind it. So he showed us everything. But for me, it was, then I started doing stuff, and I thought, rather, now I'm doing it the right way. And I got the mentor now, and then I'm doing stuff, I'm taking action, but it still didn't work for me. So yeah, I thought, what am I doing wrong? Because I'm doing a lot of stuff now, and I'm still not getting anywhere.
Right. And now, guys in the chat box, how many of you guys are either in that position or have been in that position before? How many of you guys feel like exactly what Tobias is talking about right now is what you've experienced? Because I mean, I've been there, you know what I mean? So Jesse says, sounds like me. Johetta, yes, me, my story, very common. Been there, am there, still in that position, feel the same. Yes, we're here right now, sounds like me also. So Kim says, I thought I was listening to myself talk. That's awesome, Kim. So right, good. So I'm glad because you guys, if you guys all feel that same way, we're going to get into exactly what Tobias did to overcome that and what led to that $6,600 day. So you guys are going to be in for a treat. All right, so just to back up a minute, the when you got started in May of 2014, started a little bit slow, worked your way through the steps, and then started with the solo ads. When you were going through the 21 steps, what did you think about the content? How was that going through it? What did you think about the MTTB system itself?
For me, it was the first time that there was kind of a step-by-step system. I mean, there are many probably around that maybe just didn't see them or so. But for me, it was the thing that, first of all, I wanted kind of, because I thought, okay, this, the guarantee Matt has with the, I don't know, if you don't make a sale, you get $500 back or something like this.
Right.
Um, I wanted to say, okay, in case I'm not gonna make it work, I wanna at least get my money back. So and back then you had to do, I think it's still, you have to do the steps in time. You can't just do 21 steps at all the trainings on the last day. So you have to, every day you have to make the step. And that's what I did. So I was very dedicated. And I think that was the thing that at least like got the momentum for me, because then I went MLR, and then I think later on I went titanium right away. And I thought it was just very good to have those steps that were leading you to to um, the traffic codes and at the end. So at least then you know you got something, and then they showed you also what to do now, because then most of the time you get a product and then you don't know how to promote it.
Exactly. So wait, you said you went titanium right away?
Yeah, I think it was on the seventh step or sixth, something like this.
So you bought MTTB and then right away went MLR and titanium. You felt that confident to go ahead and make that investment.
I don't know if I felt confident, but I just did it.
Interesting. And was it because that's what was suggested to you, like to get positioned early on and not pass up any commissions? Is that what somebody had told you, or?
Well, with MLR, it was because of the commission of $1,000, and with titanium, it was I saw the one of those videos from Matt Lloyd where he goes on one of the tours where he seeks out the location for titanium,
Hmm.
and I thought I just want to go there. So I mean, I could have just booked a flight and go some hotel or so, but was I thought the community there, and then just meet Matt and meet those other people. That was the thing that appealed to me the most.
Right, right. All right. And so, I mean, that's another thing that I think shows the level of your commitment early on. A lot of people are scared to make that jump, to go either MLR or especially titanium or platinum that early on. So, just another thing I think that separates you from the crowd a little bit. So going back to the traffic weekend in London, how long ago was it that you attended that?
I think it was in summer, so can't really remember.
It
I think
was
it was in
last
summer.
last
Last year,
summer?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
last. Yeah.
All right. And what did you think about, not just, that particular event, but what did you think about being at a mastermind event like that and, a live event where you could sort of, collaborate with like-minded individuals? What did you think of that experience?
For me, this was eye-opening. I mean, for me, it was already eye-opening that, like when I met Shakir, because he, back then, I think with Mobe, he had like $600,000 or so. And it was for me so fascinating just to meet him, because it was I mean, you see it all the time that, people make millions of dollars of online and so, but I never met anyone actually, like face to face. So it was for me, it was very fascinating just to meet him, and then even more so to see when he opened up his business to us, and he really showed us his kind of pre-sales funnels, how he promotes Mobe, then his follow-ups, and the whole thing behind the scenes, which you never actually see unless you work with with someone like Shakir. So, and so this was the first thing, and the other thing was the people who went there, like the fellow members who went there, um, because they understand your struggles and they understand your ideas. And if you say, your goal is to make X amount of money, they understand. They're not thinking like other people, well, you never get there.
Right.
So, you got like people who understand both of your struggles, but also your dreams.
Right, right. I mean, there's less haters, right? I mean, there's just
Yeah,
other people trying to do the same thing as you, and it's definitely more of an optimistic environment. Um,
absolutely.
so everybody in attendance here, how many of you guys have been to a live mastermind? How many of you guys kind of feel the same way, where it just gives you a totally different perspective? Especially the people in the audience that just got back from Titanium down in Punta Cana. I know, I was there. It was, there was just a ton of light bulbs going off and aha moments. Just being in the room with other people is a huge, huge asset. Orest was just down there in DR with me. He says yes, totally. Some people saying that they haven't been able to attend a live mastermind yet, but they hope to get there. Floyd says live events are the way to go. Jose, who is down in Punta Cana, down at Titanium with me, says yes, very effective. So definitely, Gertrude, not yet, but it's definitely a common theme. For those of you guys that are in our Titanium Mastermind group, go through some of the pictures there and some of the videos that everybody took down there in Punta Cana, and it's definitely a common theme. And one of the things that I said in my farewell video to all the attendees was that a live mastermind event, especially the Mobe live mastermind events, attending one is absolutely one of the best things you can do for your business. Nikki, who is down in DR with me, says yes, and she had also attended the traffic event there. And Anne Marie says would love to be in the position to go. Valerie, yes, it was very effective. So, if that's not comfortable for you guys, I'd encourage you just kind of push yourself out of that comfort zone. And it's whenever you push yourself out of your comfort zone, it's going to be one of the best things that you can do for your business. Barbara says, I think you learn from a lot from every event, and learning the game is not always easy to understand when you're new, and that's true. And
Yeah,
being at a live event, other people will ask questions that you don't even think of,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
that will set light bulbs off for you too as well. So that's just another one of the other caveats. And Tobias, have you had a chance to attend a Mobe Mastermind event yet?
Yes, I was at the Titanium in the Bahamas.
Oh, good. You were
And
down there in the Bahamas.
yeah,
Who was down there? Who'd you get a chance to meet down there while you were there?
well, all the big boys, obviously. I met Lloyd, and sorry, I met Lloyd,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then obviously Brian and Darren Salker, Chun Chow, obviously Shakir Hussain, then Carolina Milan, and yeah, Terry Lamb, all the people there, JT DeBoer. So it was a good, and I can only second what you said about the live events. I mean, it's for me it was a huge eye opener that to see first of all so many people actually going there, but the other thing as well, everyone in the room is kind of having kind of the same goal like you have. So every time you speak to people, everyone understands the other person, and you have so many new ideas what other people are doing. And I think the other thing is as well, if you go to live events, obviously you have those people on stage and they're speaking stuff, and especially with the titanium events, this is a huge value. The people who speak there, I mean, those are all like top people, either company owners or like in very high positions. And I think I would have never had the chance to see people like Kevin Harrington to speak on stage without, I didn't even have to had the idea how to get to him or so. And but the other part is as well, which I think is even more important, you always get the best information at the bar. Like I walked down the hotel lobby and then I saw Terry Lamb and Darren Sarkett sitting in one of those little cafes, and I just asked if I could join them. So I knew Terry from the pictures. I mean, who doesn't know Terry? So,
Right.
right. So, but I had no clue who Darren was. So I just sat there, and then I think Terry went to get some coffee, and so I said to Darren, so what's your name and how are you and how long have you been in Mobe and have you done some sales? And Darren was very polite and said, yeah, I've done a couple of sales here and there. And at the end of the Titanium Mastermind, he goes up on stage as the absolute top earner and was like, what? So, and then back then, when I was sitting with them, then Terry came back from the bar, and then Darren and Terry started talking, and then this is where you get the best information. Not that they don't say only half of the stuff on stage, but this is when, because most of the time they have a script because they have something prepared, but they don't know what you want to know. So if you ask him that, like with John Chow, he most of the time he does his stuff on the stage, and then he goes to the bar because he wants to talk to the people, and you can ask him anything, and he tells you everything you want to know. And this is where I think you get the most of the value, because you can talk to the people directly, and obviously you have certain questions that appeal only to you or for your business. So I think everyone who kind of is on, like doesn't really know if it's worth it, just go there. Just go there.
Absolutely. Just put the blinders on and make it
Yeah.
happen. Um, it's fun. That's funny about Darren though, right? I mean, have you had any sales? He's like, oh, I'm only the number one partner in
Yeah.
the company.
A couple one, yeah.
And so, you met these guys, right? John Chow, Shakir Hussein, Darren Salkeld, Terry, JT DeBolt, everybody that was down there. And, a lot of these people, they're multimillionaires. So what were they like? Were they snobby? They didn't really want to talk to you? Were they like, hey, who are you? Or what was their attitude? Were they just the opposite?
All of them, including Matt Lloyd. If you would come into the room and you wouldn't know who are the top earners, you I think you couldn't find it out by their behavior, because
Hmm.
they didn't care, if you're what level you are, how much money you made with Mode. They talk to anyone. You just have to go there and ask them, because you just have to approach them. But most of them are so friendly, and they tell you everything. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You're totally correct, and it's funny that you say that about the stuff that happens inside the bar because can you guys should all be able to see my screen now. I'm actually inside one of the Facebook groups, the Titanium Mastermind group. Can you guys see that? Go ahead and just let me know in the chat box. You guys can see that, all right? Yep, cool. All right, so looks like you guys can see it fine. So, you can see here this post that I made. This was May 31st. So I was down there in Punta Cana, and it says Davin Michaels, Shakir Hussein, Tom Beal, and Paul O'Mahony all sharing tons of priceless knowledge at the Mobe Titanium Mastermind in DR. And I said, it's not always about what happens in the seminar rooms. Some of the most valuable information comes from the discussions outside the rooms. And that's
yeah,
exactly what Tobias just said. And that's the truth. So this night here, right here, and guys, keep in mind, this is only one side of this it was like a square couch we're all sitting at. I took the picture, behind me is Brian Price, JT DeBolt. I forget who else was there, but, down on the other side of the bar was Darren Salkeld and things like that. And I just got a picture of these four guys. And you guys all on the call may not know all four of these guys, but they were all speakers and presenters down there at either the Traffic Summit and or the Titanium Mastermind. And the knowledge between these four guys is absolutely amazing. Just being a fly on the wall for this conversation is sometimes worth the price of admission alone. And exactly what Tobias said is such the truth. Here's another one from down there in DR. This one was posted by Mady Lim, and she says the superheroes of Mobe: John Chow, Shakir Hussein, and Darren Salkeld. And you'll see a comment from me down here. I said that's exactly why everyone needs to get to more masterminds. How often do you get these three rock stars in the same room? Now, who wouldn't, you guys in the audience, who wouldn't want to be a fly on the wall and listen to what these three guys are talking about when they start talking about business and talking about Mobe? Is that a conversation you'd like to listen in on, or definitely let me know, because you can't do that in the Facebook groups. You have to do that in person. Yeah, Zona is excited. She says me. Nancy says that would be priceless. You're absolutely right, Nancy. Jesse and Jose both said absolutely. Sigrid said absolutely. Roger said hell yes. And Oris says yes, or even rubbing shoulders with them. And Oris, Jose, Nikki, any of you other guys that were down there in DR with me, you guys all got a chance to meet these guys. You saw how cool they were, how laid back, how willing they are to just disclose information and talk about anything that you wanted to talk about. They're all awesome. So
It's funny that you
definitely.
showed the picture because when I was in the Titanium Mastermind, I had the privilege to be a fly on one of those wards when those three guys spoke. They just, casually were sitting there, and I think we were waiting for some more people to go to the bar. And then, like, they started talking, and Shakir, like, started, I don't know, like, kind of quizzing Darren a little bit about his sales funnel and stuff. And so we were just listening and what they were saying. And at some point, like, I think Shakir kind of went too far, and then Darren said, "You're not asking Coca-Cola for the recipe, right?" So, but other than that, they just told you what they're doing. And the other thing that I think kind of what might help people, that they see, okay, those $1 million earners, they're just normal, regular people. And so, because many times if you just see them online, or you see those fancy pictures, you always think, okay, well, they can do it, but I can't, because, they're like superstars. They are superstars in their own right, but at the end, they're also just normal people who then just have a skill to make, the sales funnel work or so. But they're not different in that kind. I mean, obviously they have knowledge, but they didn't start with the knowledge. So they started somewhere as well, like, kind of, they came into MTDB, and then they got the knowledge and worked their way up. So it's not different. So it's not that I can't do it, what they could do.
Yeah, exactly. And it's amazing how grounded and level-headed they really are when you get a
Yeah.
chance to meet them in person. So that's cool. And do you have any plans to attend another Mobe Mastermind anytime soon?
I would like to, to attend
Yeah.
all of them. So I have to make it work.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And while you were down there in the Bahamas, what did you do for the activity on the activity day? What did you do there?
I went swimming with the dolphins.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and that's, it's nice because by the time the activity day comes around, it's usually been, a couple of days of pretty intense learning, and your brain is pretty crammed. You got a lot going on, and it's good to kind of sort of break out of the seminar room, get into doing something fun with everybody else, and sort of let loose a little bit. It's a well needed and well deserved break that comes, at the masterminds, and it's all part of the experience. There's usually some different fun type of day offers, that day activities that you can get into, and that's pretty cool too. So all right, so now with you promoting Mobe, right, with what products primarily do you promote now?
Now I'm concentrating only on IMF events.
IMF events. Okay, so
Yeah.
do you promote my top tier business or top tier income at all, or no, not really?
Not really, because I wasn't very successful. Because I mean, when I started promoting Mo, obviously I followed Matt Lloyd's advice to promote MTDB, because obviously it's the low front product,
Right.
and probably the easiest to get people into the funnel. But as I said before, I used to I tried solo ads, and I just couldn't make it work. And then at some point, I was I mean, I was doing all what I should have done and all this stuff, and I just couldn't make it work. And I kind of got so frustrated that I wrote Shakir an rather long email, and I kind of moaned what I'm doing, nothing's working, and then the only reply I got was concentrate on one thing and one thing only. That was the only reply I got.
That's
And
all it
then
said.
yeah, and I thought, well, I expect a little bit more support here. But then I thought hard and said, that's exactly my problem. Because I'm in a mastermind with Shakir in one of his masterminds, and so he again opens up his business and he shows us everything. The only problem is um, I haven't got a team to implement, and so you can't just do all the stuff he shows you because like every week he comes around with another golden nugget on a silver plate, but I
Mhm.
can't implement them. So it was really my problem because I just had to say, okay, I just concentrate on one thing, and everything he shows us, I just have to say, okay, can I use it to promote this one thing or not? And if not, I just have to kind of, put it on the back burner. And so I thought, what shall I actually do? And then it was funny because I came across a video from, I think it was Joe Bodding, and what she said in it is she said, if you make an IMF sale, even though the ticket is for free, it shows up in your Mobe back office as a sale. And I didn't know this. And so, which that means once you made the sale, the free ticket, the person gets tagged to you for the Mobe life, so to speak. And then more or less whatever they buy afterwards, the commission goes to you. And the other thing is, I think I saw a video from Matt Lloyd where he talked about the power of butts and seats. And so somehow, like the puzzle came together and I said, okay, that's it. And then I decided to promote live events.
That's interesting. So you moved away from MTTB and TTI, and now just sort of concentrate on IMF. And Zona's asking IMF question mark question mark question mark. For any of you guys that are
The,
unfamiliar, that's the live event that Mobe offers. It's a 2-hour seminar. We have them all over the world, and generally we have them about a week prior to a home business summit event. Now, a home business summit is a 3-day live event that goes through the entire Mobe funnel, teaches everybody about Mobe. But the IMF, I Am Freedom Workshop, is the 2-hour free event that you can promote in those cities about a week prior to the HBS, and you can promote it for free. So, I mean, it's easier to go ahead and offer somebody a free ticket to a live event, and those IMFW events are a general introduction into affiliate marketing. It doesn't go too deep into the Mobe business model or anything like that. It just sort of gives everybody, a better understanding of what affiliate marketing is, how high ticket affiliate marketing can be successful, and encourages them to go ahead and attend the 3-day home business summit. And like Tobias mentioned, when somebody registers for an IMFW ticket, that locks them in to being your lead. Now, keep in mind, not when they opt in to an IMFW page, but they actually have to go ahead and register for the IMFW workshop. Again, it's free. They don't need to pay anything, but they just need to select a date, input their name and a little bit more information, and register and lock in their seat, and then they become your lead. So Tobias, moved away from that, and now Tobias, that's strictly what you promote within Mobe is the IMFW and the HBS funnel.
Yeah, for the time being. And
Cool.
I would say it's for like six main reasons. So obviously we talked about two of them. The first one is the price. Obviously it's for free. It's way easier to sell to prospects because they don't have to get out their credit card and buy something. So it is actually for free, and they get a lot of value. Even if they go there and then they don't, don't upgrade to HBS, they still get value because then they can take the knowledge and then obviously implement it. Then the second one is the registration that it counts as a sale and locks them in, as you said, for that tags them to you. And the third reason is the leverage because you're leveraging the power of live events. Because when I was at the Titanium, I saw the power of the live events. And so it's, it's easy for you because you can promote those live events from home without doing the hard work. And you leverage the professional speakers at the live events and the social proof, because most of the time people think, well, I'm the only one who would buy this. But when they're at the IMF event and they see maybe people going back to the room and maybe buying HBS tickets or so, for them it shows them, okay, it's not only me, so there are other people as well, and it gives them a social proof. Then the fourth reason is it's kind of qualification, because I think the people who sign up for an IMF event, they are aware, or at least they should be aware, that at some point they have to physically go somewhere. They have to go sit in the car and drive somewhere. So it's a little bit more commitment than just showing up on a webinar, in front of your computer. And it also qualifies those people that once they go there, that those are action takers and they mean more business than someone who just sits at home. And I think the people who actually upgrade to HBS, they're more likely to then later upgrade to MLR than if they just come into your funnel, without having been on a live event, because they've seen the speakers, they know the whole story, they talk to them, maybe they could have got the question answered, and so I think it's powerful. And for me, the fifth reason was one kind of the first one for me. It was focus, because the only job I have to do is concentrate on one thing and one thing only, and that is to get the targeting right and then get bumps and seats. That's all I have to do, because I don't have to care about how to organize the event. I don't have to care about how to upsell them in MTTP, sorry, in Titanium or the other ones. So I don't have to do this.
Right.
And then obviously the last reason is the done for you, because it's the hard work, like the whole process of upselling them and taking care of the customer. It's all done for you because it's obviously done for by the Mobe team. And the whole thing, answering the questions, then the social proof thing. And if you're lucky, Matt Lloyd himself will speak there. I mean, not that the other speakers aren't as good as, but I think to have the company owner there and be able, and you as a uh, participant of the event, be able to speak to him, I think it's priceless. And
Yeah.
you from home, you're just leveraging the whole thing without doing the hard work. You have to drive traffic anyway, because let's say you're promoting MTDB, obviously you have to get traffic anywhere, but then you just have, like your prospects a little bit alone without the live event thing. And here you have to drive traffic, you buy the traffic, get them to the IMF, and then from there, the whole magic takes over.
Yeah, it's totally done for you, and
Yeah.
you're 100% spot on. When one of the caveats of the IMFW is the low price. I mean, it doesn't get any lower than free unless we paid people to
Yeah.
go. But um, you know, the HBS tickets are a couple $100. Now we're offering two-person tickets to the HBS, for instance, for $500. So
Yeah.
that's not necessarily an easy sale to promote that on the internet, to sell a $500 ticket to a live event. It's much easier to sell or promote the free ticket and let the professionals in the room sell the couple $100 ticket to the HBS event.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
definitely. And the people being there, like you said, to see other people say, all right, yes, raise their hand and say, I'm going to go ahead and sign up for the HBS event. That would encourage others to go ahead and do the same thing. There's a saying that goes, it says, motion breeds emotion. And it's true.
Yeah.
When they see other people getting up to go ahead and register and they're saying, wow, well, am I going to miss something? Shouldn't I go ahead and register too? Shouldn't I go ahead and see what this is all about too? So definitely. And even though it's free, like Tobias mentioned, it's a live event that somebody's making a commitment to physically attend. And that's big, and sometimes bigger than a $49 investment in an online course, because they're saying, you know what, I'm going to attend this event on this day. I'm going to, maybe put some nice clothes on. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive there. and I'm going to do this. And that is a pretty high level of commitment. To some people, that's worth more than $50, right? What would it cost
Yeah,
you guys to go ahead? If I told you, all right, you need to put a nice set of clothes on, you need to go ahead and drive down, maybe it could be 20, 30 minutes away to the center of town and attend this event. For me, it'd have to be worthwhile to go ahead and do that. So that's all spot on. You mentioned in your IMFW promotions targeting, and we'll get to that in a second. I think that's pretty interesting in regards to the targeting. But you guys in the audience, how many of you guys have promoted either the IMFW or HBS events? How many of you guys here have actually promoted those? And let's see here. Somebody asked about the affiliate links. Yes, you have affiliate links for the IMFW events. That's how they know that it's your lead. When you promote, you use your affiliate link. So, all right. So let's see who's promoted. Yes, yes, yes. I have. No, not aware of them. All right, Zona. Good. We'll show you that in a minute. Not really. Not me, but will for sure now. I have not yet, but I will. I've tried promoting. I did both without success. Not yet. No. So good. Mixed, I'd say, but maybe majority have not promoted yet, but sort of want to. And hopefully we'll give them some encouragement and some direction here. So Barbara asked a good question. How far in advance do you promote the event, Tobias? How far in advance before do you promote?
usually just a week, and the reason for that is being, I think if you do it too long in advance, let's say like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, since it is a free ticket, that people might forget, because people are busy, so they have schedules and stuff. And if it's for free, the commitment from those people might not be as high as if they would have paid. And so I just start like a week before, but then you have to, like really power it up your campaign or so, because you have to go for a very short time, very hard.
Yeah, definitely. So like you said, you don't want to promote it too far in advance. I mean, if somebody registers for a free event, 2 weeks or 3 weeks before it happens, chances are they're either going to forget, they're going to make other plans, or they're just going to
Yeah,
become disinterested by then. And
yeah,
um, reality is that, the internet marketing business is surrounded by shiny objects, and 3 weeks there's a lot of vulnerability to shiny objects within 3 weeks.
yeah.
So
three
yeah,
weeks is like decades.
yeah, yes,
But
exactly,
obviously, you don't
exactly.
wanna start your campaign too late, because let's say if you did like 2 days before, then obviously people, they have commitments which they can't maybe reschedule, and then obviously they might be interested, but then they just can't make it. But then obviously if you get them on your email list, then you can remind them, or you can send them emails for the next one, if because uh, currently it's there are only a couple of cities, and those, the IMF keep on staying in those cities, so you can just invite them for the next one.
Exactly. And generally, with the I Am Freedom workshops, here's how they're structured. They happen about a week before the HBS, and we run them for 3 days. All right, and every day there's about 2 sessions. So somebody could choose to attend an afternoon session or an evening session. So we sort of make it convenient. Maybe somebody works days or somebody works nights. So they always have that option. And they're 2-hour sessions, and there's a day session and an evening session. So I'm getting a few people that are unfamiliar with the I Am Freedom workshops and the HBS events. So for just a second here, I'm going to show you guys just a little bit more information about them. And I'm on right now. I just dropped that link in the chat box. It's iamfreedomworkshop.com. And don't explore it now. Just hang out with us for a second, but bookmark that to check out later if you're unfamiliar with it. But like I said, we have them all over the world. You guys should see my screen now. And this page here links to some of the upcoming events. And you can see them here. We're having them in Austin, Texas, Sydney, Australia, London, England, Phoenix, Arizona, and over in Singapore. And you can see the dates. And these are all hyperlinked, okay? You can click over and you can check these out for more information. And if you scroll down just a little bit on this opt-in page, and here's what I'd encourage you to do, guys, right? Check this out. Like I said, maybe after the webinar, put your email address in here and register. What that's going to do is that's going to put you on the email list for the Mobe IMFW campaigns. over the next few days, read through those emails and you'll see how Mobe structures that follow-up process, and you'll see how Mobe sort of pitches the event and promotes it. And that might give you guys some ideas to how you want to do that in your business. Now here, this is Austin, right, for June, and you can see we're actually right smack dab in the middle of an IMFW campaign right now. And June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is a Google map here that shows people where they are, and you can see that there's 2 sessions every day, 12:30 to 2:30 and 6:30 to 8:30. There's the address there with the phone number for the hotel. All the information that they need is right there to go ahead and register. Now, if they enter their email address here and click register, that'll bring them over to one more screen. And on that screen, they'll pick a session. They have to actually pick one of these sessions and put in some information about themselves. And if they do that, that would go ahead and lock them in as your lead. So definitely go ahead and do that after, so like I said, after the call, opt in and check out those emails. Now, in the same regard, this is the page for the Home Business Summit. And I'll drop this link in the chat box too for you guys to check that out. But this is the same way. This will list the different dates and locations for the upcoming home business workshops, home business summits rather. And if you scroll down here, you'll see the list of upcoming events. There's a short video here you guys can check out. Houston, Texas, Sydney, Australia, Austin, Texas, and London. So you guys can check those out. But I just wanted to mention that because I had quite a few people in the chat box that were unfamiliar with the IMF and HBS events. So there are affiliate links in the back office for those. I can help you guys find those. Sigrid is asking. Sigrid, I'll get that link here in just a second and show that to you. But Tobias, with promoting the IMFW and HBS events, you said you do them about a week prior. I've heard that's just about the sweet spot, right? 7 to 10 days prior, for all the reasons that you mentioned, is probably the best way to go with that.
Yeah, you can test it. I mean, it's all like everything coming down to testing if it works better if you start a little bit early or not. So I think it also depends then how dialed in your ad campaign already is. So you have to just test it over a couple of campaigns.
True, true. And what was the first IMFW event that you promoted?
The first one was in London.
It was a London event. And
A London
how
event,
long
yeah.
ago was that? Do you remember?
Uh, well, I think it must have been like in March or so, something like this, March. Yeah.
Okay. And how did that go? With the promotion, do you remember how many people you had actually registered to show up?
Yeah, because it was very disappointing to be honest, because I had, I was using Facebook ads, and it took me quite a long time until I actually got a Facebook ad approved, because obviously it was too much, kind of make money online and this kind of stuff. And so I was rather late. I think it was like just 3 days to go. And so I got only 8 people on my list. And I thought, okay, this didn't work. And then, but one person went actually on IMF. And then later on she upgraded to HBS, and then she went MLR. So this showed me at least that it's working. Like the event.
Interesting. So you had that first promotion, you had a hard time getting the Facebook ad approved, and that's a common theme that I've heard a lot lately too, and we'll get to that shortly, how you overcame that. But so you had 3 days to promote because I had a hard time getting it approved. You
Yeah.
had 8 people register and 1 attend, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
this
then
one
that
person then went MLR.
and 1 person went MLR. So for the 1 person attending, you had $120 commission on that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's anybody that goes to if they go to an IMFW workshop and purchase an HBS ticket, you, the affiliate, are going to receive a $120 commission. That's on every single ticket that you sell to a home business summit. You're going to earn $120. And Tobias was fortunate enough where the 1 person that attended also decided to purchase MLR while at the event. So you got another $1,000 for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get the 1,000 from the MLR, you get the 120 from the ticket sale itself. And do you remember how much you spent on the actual promotion within that 3 days?
Ooh, I think it was something like $300 or so, something
So
like this.
about 300 bucks.
Yeah, yeah,
Good. So you made about $1,100, um, or $800 rather in that couple of days and on that promotion.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I had a pretty good conversion rate because one people went and one person went and one person went MLR, but I wouldn't count on that on those statistics. So I think it's
Yeah.
because I saw, when I think I saw a webinar with Luke Lim and also one with Adeline Suchante, and they obviously they have way more. They have promoted way more IMF workshops, and they have a real good statistic now. I think it's a little bit different the statistic, but it was good for me because it was in the beginning it was kind of a disappointment because I got only 8 people on the list, but then obviously one person upgraded and make it all work.
Yeah, that absolutely makes it all worthwhile. And okay, so let me ask you guys here that are in attendance. Would you guys like to make $800 profit within 3 days of promoting an IMFW or an HBS event? What do you guys think about that? Is that pretty cool? Sigurd says yes. Manuel says yes, yes. Zona, oh yes, of course. You bet. Yup, absolutely. Hell yeah. Every day. Heck yes. Gary says yes. So of course, right? I mean, who wouldn't want to make $800 in 3 days? And keep in mind, like Tobias mentioned, that was one end of the spectrum where he had one person attend and also go MLR. You could have one person attend and not purchase MLR, all right? But Tobias also could have had this person purchase MLR, titanium, platinum, and even most recently, we've started offering diamond packages at the HBS events. So there's a
Wow.
potential there for a large amount of commissions and not just the MLR. So definitely, Tobias was fortunate enough to have that individual purchase MLR, but there definitely could have been more money on the table there too. Um,
But
so
it
yeah,
could
you
have been
guys.
also the other way, which was because the second IMF event I promoted was Florida, and I thought, okay, UK London worked. Now I'm going to scale up. So I I spent I think it was $600, and I got nothing back. So everything
So for
was gone.
So for Florida, which happened that was after London,
Yeah,
you were ready. You said, "All right, I got this.
yeah,
This is easy. I'm gonna go hard and I'm gonna promote Florida." So you put $600 into a promotion for Florida, but it bombed, right?
yeah,
Did you
totally, totally.
did you have anybody register at all for the HBS in Florida?
No, no one, no one,
No registrants.
no.
Okay, and nobody for the IMFW either. Nobody registered.
No, nothing, nothing. I mean,
Nothing. All right.
I bought data, so at least I got some data, but that's
You,
about it.
you paid for the experience, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And what do you think was the reason? What do you think went wrong in that campaign if you had to say now?
I think for me it was a little bit harder because there are free events, and so I thought, okay, because in London there's only one event, so you can split test better because you can have like free ads, they're all going to one event. But in Florida you have like three different events, three different cities. So, and
Hmm.
I wanted to kind of geo-target those certain cities. So obviously it's more or less like running three campaigns at one. So even though it was like $600, it was not so much more because I had three campaigns to run. And so I didn't have so much ad spend for each campaign. So I think next time I rather just concentrate on one of those cities and just treat it as one event. That's it.
Gotcha. And for any of you guys unfamiliar, what Tobias means is when we do the HBS events, we try and stick within a certain region. For instance, when we hit Florida, I believe we did Orlando, Tampa, and one other location. Do you remember
Yeah.
what it was?
No, I can't remember. But it
No,
was
I,
yeah,
I
Orlando,
can't either. I,
Tampa.
I know it was three of them, and they're all around the same time. So,
Yeah.
like Tobias says, it might water it down a little bit. and it could be a little bit it could be a little bit overwhelming too to try and jump into three different campaigns like that. But like you said, you spent $600. You definitely got a lot of information from that campaign, and maybe learned
Yeah.
what not to do for
Yeah.
for the next ones. Um, so that's pretty interesting. And after the Florida events, what was the next one after that that you promoted?
The next one was Kuala Lumpur. Yeah, one
Was
of the Kuala
KL.
Lumpur. Yeah.
All right.
And so the Kuala Lumpur, the first one, I can't remember. I mean, I remember the ad spend I had because it was $600 again. And I think it took me quite a long time to dial my campaign in because um, for the in London to promote London UK, I had two squeeze pages. One was only asking for emails, and then one I got a tip from Shakir. I asked for all the relevant detail to be able to book the ticket for them. So which
Mm-hmm.
means you ask for name, email, telephone number, workshop date, and workshop time. And because then if you get all the information, you can book the ticket for them. So you make sure the ticket is booked. Whether they actually afterwards go or not, is a different story. But
True.
many times people they subscribe, they get onto the sales page, and then life gets in the way, baby screaming, I don't know, they have to go to a meeting, whatever, and then they forget to book their ticket. If you get actually all the information, you can book the ticket for them. And the only downside is that if you put up a squeeze page with email only, you probably get a higher quantity of people who opt in, but maybe in comparison a lower quality because people have to give their email only, and sometimes they probably not even give you a real email because they just want to see what's on the other side. But if you ask for all the details, you will have a lower quantity because not everyone is willing to give more than email, let alone, telephone number or those workshop dates. But the person who gives you all the details went through a certain thought process because they have to obviously check the calendar. Can I go on this date, on this time? And if they want to give you, or if they're willing to give you their telephone number, they're more dedicated to say, okay, this is something I want to attend. So those people are probably more dedicated to go there and then to upgrade because they went through a deeper thought process. But
True.
in different to the UK, in Kuala Lumpur, I said, okay, I got the experience. I'm asking for all the details, and don't do it. Don't try. They don't give you anything more than their email because I wrote it down. First, I started with everything. Then I said, okay, I took a couple of things away. I think it was like telephone number because telephone number you don't have to have, and name. So I've got only the email and the workshop dates and the workshop times. Didn't work. I went all the way down to having email only, and then it worked because then they will give you their email, and then at least you can send them to the sales page.
Right. And now that's thinking out of the box a little bit because I bet you a lot of people wouldn't think to do that. Um, and like you said, that's definitely gonna help. Now you have somebody that provides all that information. Like you said, you're not gonna convert at such a high rate, but it's definitely a better quality lead.
Yeah,
And with campaigns like the IMFWs and HBSs, guys, you don't need to put 100 people in these seats. You can really be profitable with a few people there. So you don't need such overwhelming numbers. It doesn't have to be that way. And just for you guys that had asked, you should see my screen now. I'm logged into Mobe Office, and I'm going to drop the link into the chat box exactly where you can find your links for the IMFW and HBS events. Here. That's the link there. Okay, you will have to log into Mobe Office, keep in mind. But if you scroll down, you're going to go just under is MTTB, TTI, IM Revolution, and I Am Freedom Workshop will be the next one you see, and you'll see all the different links that are available to you there. And there's a few different options when you promote. You can promote just the first page like I showed you a minute ago. This one here. You can promote and send people just to this page, or you can send people to the next page that they see right after that. So if you do promote these guys, just be cautious because there's so many different links. They're all over the world. Just be sure that you're promoting the correct event that matches up with your campaign. Um, so for KL, right, you went in with a $600 campaign budget, and how did that go? What were your results for that?
I can't remember the exact number of subscribers, but I got two HBS tickets, and then later one of those persons upgraded to MLR.
So you had two HBS tickets and one MLR from that campaign.
Yeah.
So that was what, 240 for the tickets and another 1,000 for the MLR. So it was about 1,200 bucks. So that sort of covered you for the KL campaign and made up the 600 that you lost in Florida, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so at that point, you're like, all right, so how did you feel after KL? Did you feel like you were back on the right track again, or what was your mindset at that point?
For me, the only thing that I really knew that it works. You get you have to get your campaign right, but most of the time you get someone actually who actually goes to those events because I think the little bit problem with the IMF registration is you don't know actually who went there. So because I think it's kind of not visible in the system for me at least. So I don't know who actually went to the IMF or who didn't, and I could, kind of contact him again and say next time just go there. But what I just do is, the people I have in my autoresponder, the next IMF comes up and I just put them through the whole sequence again and just remind them on the new one. So maybe if there are people who wanted to go but couldn't due to maybe they couldn't make the day or so, they might then have a chance to get the information for the next event. But I knew, okay, this is working, and I have just to concentrate on the one thing and promote the IMFs. So for me, it was good to know it's working at least.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So you sort of had that, the feeling like, hey, I'm kind of getting to the right track here. It works, but I just got to keep tweaking my formula
Yeah.
and seeing how it's going. And you guys, if you guys think this is informative, if you guys are getting some value from this, go ahead and let me know in the chat box. I just want to see what you guys think so far. Deborah Robertson says she had one at Miami, and that one went platinum. So,
Wow. Well
like I
done.
said, you don't need a ton of people there, guys. Just a couple of people could definitely pay off. So let me see what you guys think. Yes, for sure. Incredible value, excellent information. Wow, yes, this is great. Yes, absolutely good, honest answers. I really can't wait to get people there. This is great. By far the best workshop I ever attended.
Wow.
Interesting. We can try. That's the ticket. Good, good. I'm glad you guys are digging this. So let's keep going. So after KL, and you sort of were at the break-even point there where you made up that Florida money and you did all right with KL. What did you do after that? What was the next one? Do you remember that?
I think the next one was again in London, if I remember right. And
All right.
this one, I think I got some people to sign up, but I didn't get anyone to actually go there. So it shows, not every campaign is profitable. But I think I didn't spend too much money because I had the data I bought from the first event. I had already dialed a little bit down, like uh, con, which age group went there and so. But I didn't get anyone to go there. And then the next event would have been, I think it was USA again, but I think again with like 3 cities, and I just skipped that one because I kind of was a little bit scared. So I don't want to, lose another $600 because I didn't really know what was wrong. So I skipped that one, and then I just promoted the next Kuala Lumpur IMF event.
So you went London, you skipped USA, and then you went to another KL event.
Yeah, exactly. exactly.
Promoted
And
on a
this was the
KL.
one that actually brought the big payday, because even though I spent $600 on the first KL campaign, this is where I bought a lot of data. And then obviously you can, because I'm using Facebook traffic, so you can go in and see what age group converts, and then you can just dial in on those. And
Right.
I mean, you're not always lucky with the targeting right from the get-go, but I was from the first campaign, I was rather lucky to have the interest right. So I just used this information, and then I just had to spend, I think it was like just about $200, and I got, what was it? I think it was, I think it was like 1,000 clicks or so, and I got, I think like 40 signups, and then 17 actually uh, bought the ticket, which isn't a lot to be honest. But then out of the 17, 3 people went HBS VIP, and then later on, obviously they upgraded. So when because I was a little bit disappointed because of only 39 people signing up. So I saw the 17 IMF tickets, but then I kind of totally forgot about it. And then all of a sudden I saw in my back office, like I made like $6,000 or so. So I totally forget that obviously people upgrade to HBS VIP, and then out of those 3, all 3 went MLR and 1 went titanium.
Nice. So, all right. So let's I'm just gonna write that down, and then I want to back up a second because that was really the big event for you. But
Yeah.
prior to, and that was probably your lowest ad spend, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, can you guys see here where as Tobias is learning and he's refining what he's doing, he's actually able to spend less and do more. I mean, you guys see that connection, how even if you sort of take some lumps in the beginning, kind of go through the learning process and see what that's all about, you get to the point where that starts to pay off. And like he said, he didn't look at it as, oh, I lost $600 on my Florida promotion when I got zero for it. I paid for that information, and that was a learning experience, and that's what he turned it into. So that's, sort of the thinking you have to have, and the drive, the willingness not to give up and just seeing it through. Now, um, with the $200 you spent for KL, you had about 1,000 clicks there. You had 40 people opt in with their email address for the IMFWs, and you had 17 that actually attended.
Well, I don't know if they attended. The only thing I know, 17 people bought the ticket. I don't know how
17.
many actually went there. Well, I know for sure that 3 went because 3 upgraded to HBS, but I don't know how many of the remaining ones, of the remaining 14, if they went or not. This I don't know.
Right. So you had 17 register to attend the IMF, and from that, 3 purchased VIP HBS tickets,
Yeah.
and you got $120 a piece for those. So that was 360, and then you had the 3 MLRs and the 1 titanium, and that's the big day that we were talking about, throughout this webinar. And let's back up a little bit too. So all of these promotions, all of the IMFW promotions, how did you go about promoting those? Was it strictly Facebook, or did you do any other means as well?
No, currently I do Facebook only. I'm going to start learning Bing, and then going to promote those as well, because you have to have a traffic source you can geo-target. So because you have to be able to say, okay, I want traffic from London only if you want to promote the London IMF, because it doesn't make sense. Um, to promote London to someone who lives in New York, because they actually have to go there. It's different if you compare to if you promote MTDB, because it doesn't matter where they live. But with those IMFs, obviously they have to go someplace, so it has to be convenient. And I'm kind of searching, targeting the city for the IMF, and then maybe like a range of, I don't know, like 100 miles or so. Because like 100 miles, I mean, okay, it takes a lot of dedication to go up for 100 miles, but you never know.
yeah, you could get that person, and I'll tell you, the guy that drives 100 miles to attend the IMF, that's pretty committed.
Yes. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And now with the Facebook ads, um, a couple of times you mentioned the ideal age, that you found was the sweet spot. And um, what's the age, just roughly? What did you find that out to be?
Well, if you want to have ad engagement or post engagement, you choose the lower range, like between 20 and 30. But they most of them they just click, and I think it's because they're kind of not really interested because they're, I mean, they're still, they just got off, started their career, so they are not that desperate like maybe people who are already in a job since 20 years and they want to get out. So they rather want to get up on the career ladder. But if you want to have people who convert, I think it's rather like 30 and plus. So most of the time, I only target 25 plus. And if you go to those the beautiful thing of those live events like the Titanium Mastermind, when you look in the room, who's in there, you see exactly the ideal customer of Mobe because you see everyone who is there. Those are the people who actually you should target, and those are mostly like 30, 35 and up. And so this is the age range I mostly target, but I always start with 25 plus because you never know. And
Right.
the difference, let's say, like I was targeting UK and I started with 25 plus, and most of them were the people who actually clicked. Then there were like kind of baby boomers, but in Kuala Lumpur it was a little bit lower. So it was like I think between 30 and 35. So you never know. So I always open up the whole age range, 25 and plus, and then later on you can dial in a little bit.
True, true. And Tobias, you literally took the words right out of my mouth by saying when you attend these masterminds, look around the room because that is your target audience,
Yeah,
right? When you're at Titanium in the Bahamas, guess what? Everybody there purchased Titanium at least, right? Titanium or above.
yeah,
So those are the people we want to market to. And, the 20 to 30 crowd is probably pretty hungry, right? They're pretty motivated. Look,
yeah,
they're either tired of working, they're either tired of being in school, or they're lazy, right? They want
yeah,
another
yeah,
way,
yeah.
but maybe their buying power isn't as powerful or isn't as strong as the 30 plus crowd.
True.
So, like you said, 25 plus is pretty good. I think 30 plus might be better buying power, but you don't want to necessarily exclude somebody because honestly, down in DR, there were people under 30 there, for sure. Majority were not, granted, majority were definitely 30 or 35 plus. But, like Tobias said, that's what you're going to find out when you start running these campaigns. And sometimes, because of the nature of them being live events, being different parts of the world, maybe in KL might be a better market for 25 to 30
Yeah.
versus Florida or Texas. Maybe that market wouldn't convert as well. But that's what you start to learn when you get into these campaigns. And I mean, Tobias has spent a decent amount of money here in these campaigns, and these are some of the things that he found. So I'll try and pull some of these things out of him as we go along, but I'm not going to ask him for all of his secrets. But what do you guys think? Do you guys appreciate Tobias kind of opening up for us and being a little bit honest about what's going on with his campaigns? And let me know in the chat box if you guys appreciate that, because generally you might have to go ahead and spend a couple $100s to get this information, but he's willing to come on here live and share this with you guys and me as well. So um, we're going to get to some more here, but I just wanted to see what you guys think. So absolutely, yes, thank you. So, thank you, Tobias. Much appreciated. Definitely, this is cool. I'm going to try this. Awesome, John. I like to hear somebody that wants to take action. Nice for him to share his secrets. Yes, for sure. This is why I'm here. Yep, I appreciate you, Tobias, says Oris. This is greatly appreciated, really informative. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Tobias. Good. I'm glad you guys are liking this stuff. So, Tobias, with your Facebook campaigns, um, one of the things that I tend to hear lately is Facebook really cracking down on campaigns and IMFW, HBS campaigns in general. Is there anything that you try to do, any best practices that you try to stick to to get your ads approved and keep them approved?
Well, like with Facebook, everyone knows it's like they change every day, and you don't really know why sometimes your ad doesn't get approved, and then the other thing is as well, you see so many ads where you think this should not be approved, and then you still see the ad. But I wouldn't try to aim for getting your ad up there as well, because you see an ad that either speaks about making money online or has more than 20% text on it. Because sometimes it's just because every ad in Facebook has to be approved by a human being, as far as I know. And so maybe you just catch someone who is last couple of minutes of his shift, and he just said, okay, another ad, and it just clicks and approves. And because I had this in the past, because you can try out to figure out where the shift where the shift how do you say, like where the shift ends, and then
Right.
you can just try to bombard them with ads, and maybe they just click and click and click, and then they approve everything. But then sometimes next day comes, and a new person comes and maybe says, we can't approve that ad. But what you have to keep in mind, the Facebook is all about user experience. So they don't want to have a user bad experience if they click on your ad. So if you keep this in mind, and if you think, if someone sees my ad, would he be maybe upset with my ad, or would he maybe once he clicks on it be upset where I send them? But it's a very thin line, and I think it's even like the big boys that have sometimes uh, problems with, they get an ad approved, and the other one which looks similar doesn't get approved. And even John Loomer, like he's one of those Facebook professionals, he
Yep.
has sometimes problems. But I would start, if you start out with Facebook ads now, don't try to kind of bend the rules, because every Facebook account that starts, putting up Facebook ads is under more scrutiny than the ones who are already up like for a couple of years and have already a huge amount of ad spend. Because then they know, okay, those people, they know what they're doing, they know our rules. But the people who are coming on just, recently or starting with Facebook ads, Facebook is very, a little bit wary about what they're going to do, what ads they're going to put up. So be careful there, because otherwise you get your account shut, quicker than the IMF takes place.
Right, right. Even though it's only a week, but still it only takes,
Yeah,
it only
exactly.
takes a day or two. It only takes one click of a button for somebody to
Yeah,
ban your account.
absolutely.
And um, like you mentioned too, Tobias, I think it's an ever-changing world, right? I mean, it's just like search engine rankings and the Google algorithm and things like that. I mean, it's you always have to try and stay on top of it. It's always going to be a learning game. You're always going to need to tweak, test, and adjust, and just it's a continual process. And you could have an ad campaign that is perfect for this set of IMFW and HBSs, but for the next set, it may not even get approved. And that's just the reality of the internet marketing business. And we need to stay flexible. We need to be able to adapt. Like Tobias said, he's going to start looking into Bing ads. So once he starts to diversify his campaigns, and he has some going Bing, he has some going to Facebook, you know what? If Facebook doesn't approve his ad, he can turn up the heat with Bing, and he can probably promote that way. And don't let one thing discourage you. If you get shut down somewhere, look to do it another way and just keep going. And that's how you're going to see it through. Like you mentioned too with the Facebook ads, if you guys are just going to start out promoting Facebook ads and doing your campaigns, don't go with $100 a day ad spend or anything like that. Like keep it low, sort of keep kind of go slow and let it be a gradual curve, not just skyrocketing straight up. Like Tobias said, I mean, who do you think is more apt to abuse the system, right? Somebody who's had a Facebook ad account running now for 2 or 3 years, or somebody who just opened their account last week and really hasn't spent much money. So you'll be under a scrutinous eye if you're new and you just want to do the right thing. And user experience, you hit the nail on the head there. You never want to be too hypey. You never want to promise push button riches or making $1 million sitting on the beach and all that stuff that we talked about earlier. That's not what you want to do. And the beauty of the IMFs, that's not what it is, right? It's a free workshop. It's a local live workshop for free that people can attend and learn more about internet marketing. That's not hypey. That's not trying to sell somebody the dream. That's just reality. It's a free 2-hour local workshop where you can come and get information from some of the most successful people in internet marketing.
Yeah.
So, keep that frame of mind and always keep the user experience in mind because that's what Facebook is going to look after. I think you hit the nail right on the head.
But Matt, also
And
keep in mind, I would suggest, even though if you have already a campaign dialed in, don't start with a high budget because you want always to test. Because I always start with like $10, and then if I see something converts well, then obviously I increase my ad budget. But if I see right away, even with $10, I don't get any feedback or any clicks, why should it work with $100? So it doesn't
right.
make too much sense. So I always start small, and then if you find something that converts, then you can gradually scale up. And also don't go from $10 to $100 because then you get Facebook again on your back, and then they say, well, why is it all of a sudden going from $10 to $100? So gradually just go from 10 maybe, then in $10 steps up or so.
Right, right. So do you do $10 a day or do you do $10 just for the initial campaign, see how it goes
No, per day, 10 per
per
day.
day?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I mean, guys, who here could afford to spend $10 a day, right, for a couple of days and kind of gauge a Facebook ad and see how it works? I mean, if you had the ability to go ahead and earn $6,000 in commissions, $6,600 in commissions. I mean, I think $10 a day for a few days is a pretty small investment for that potential payoff. How many of you guys agree with me? Go ahead and let me know in the chat box. Because I just wanted to see what you guys think. I mean, is it even worth it for you guys to invest that? I think that's a no-brainer, honestly. Tamsin says, good tip, about the $10 a day. No problem. I can handle it. Yes, I'm in. That's reasonable. Certainly. Sounds awesome. No brainer, definitely. Oris says panhandle. I love it, Oris. You're the man. John says no problem. Definitely no brainer. So absolutely, right? So, it's the good thing you can do is you can scale up, right? You can do $10. If it's working, boom, you can start to turn up
Yeah.
the heat there if you want to. Yeah, Michael, you're right. It's worth it if you can get the return. And that's the beauty of the HBSs and the high ticket commissions, right? We have programs in place where you can potentially earn diamond commissions from an HBS event by promoting a free IMFW. So yeah, the potential for return is definitely there, and it all goes back to what Tobias said about getting butts in the seats. You just need to get people to these events, and it absolutely will pay off. Um, yeah, Kyle says the main reason, if you really believe in the product, if it's not gonna, if you're doing for money, it's not gonna make sense. So you do have to believe in it. But here's the deal, when you hear stories like Tobias, when you hear stories like Luke Lim and Adeline Sugianto, who've made over $250,000 from promoting Mobe Live events, it is real, and you guys should believe it. And we try and bring these stories to you guys so that you can get that mindset in and you know that it is real because it's reality. Anne Marie says great concept, and that's true. Or says, yeah, you can spare some spare change for a Facebook ad, and that's really what it is. It comes down to spare change. And in just a few minutes here, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example of some of the of a Facebook ad that Tobias ran, and I think I also have a landing page as well, right, Tobias?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you shoot me that over?
And
Yeah. So I
just
mean,
Matt, just keep in mind when I was at the traffic summit of Shakir Hussain in London, he brought up one of the speakers he brought there. He's like he got a Facebook agency and he works with like Fortune 500 companies and he runs their campaigns. So those are like huge big companies and they have like kind of an unlimited amount of ad spend. And he spends obviously for those companies, he spends up to $250,000 a day. But he said every campaign he starts with $50 per day. So there's not
wow.
such a big difference between $10 and $100, $50. But Because he said, I said, why do you sell only with 50? Because you got so much estimate. He said, yeah, why should something work that doesn't work with $50? Why should it work with 250,000 or whatever? So
Right.
he starts with $50, and then obviously, he dials in the targeting, and so he gets it right, and then he scales. But before that, he said he just starts small with $50.
So he goes from $50 a day to almost $250,000 a day.
Yeah, but this is obviously over a period of time, because those campaigns he runs are, they're long-term campaigns. But still, he doesn't
Right.
start the campaign higher than $50.
Right. Right. And I'll tell you, I mean, I don't know who this guy is, but if he's spending that much money per day, I think what he's doing is what I want to be doing, right? I mean, if he's doing it that way, I think we all should be doing it that way.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to see an example of what Tobias has in terms of his ad and his landing page, go ahead and let me know. Let me know in the chat box, and curious to see if you guys would be into that. Um, so Sigrid says, yes, please. David says, he is smart. I like him. Barbara says, yes, please. Yes, 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 for sure. Show me, please. Would love to see it. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Let's see it. Yes, 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 please. So awesome. Of course, you guys want to see it, right? Why not? So go ahead and you should see my screen now. This is an example of one of Tobias's ads here, and you could see it says, free workshop reveals what everyone ought to know about internet marketing. Join us at Sydney and change your life. Click here for more info. You see the picture there, nice, beautiful tropical location. Looks like where I just came from. Free marketing workshop, it says there. And now keep in mind, he doesn't have text all over the picture. It's red text, right? So it draws in, I mean, tropical pictures get attention. Red text gets attention. So, think about this here when you guys are structuring your ads. Then the title down the bottom, this event changes lives. Every month, thousands of people like you attend our live events to discover how I create wealth and earn a full-time income from home. Click the link and sign up now for free before all seats are gone. It will change your life. So do you guys think that's cool? If you guys saw this in your news feed, is this something that you guys would click on to maybe attend or at least explore and find out more information? And keep in mind here, what appeals to you about this? This is what you want to include in your ad. And I want to get you guys feedback here because I want to let everybody else know. What do you think about this ad is the most appealing, or what appeals to you here? Is it the picture, the red text, maybe just the fact that it doesn't seem hypey? I don't see a dollar amount anywhere in here, right? I don't see something that says $10,000 or I made $100,000 in a day. So yeah, I get a lot of people here saying that they'd click. Yes, yes, I would. Sure. Oh yeah. Cool. I would click it for sure. Leslie says the content. John says it's specific and to the point. Don says the picture and the red text. Roxana says, I love the ad text. Emmanuel, I love the simplicity of the ad. And it doesn't have to be complex, guys. So good, makes you want to go. Very similar to mine, says Jesse. Cool. And yep, Anne Marie says red text catches your eye. Absolutely. Barbara says it represents total freedom and it's free. There you go. And Vincent says who can say no to learning something for free. Spot on, guys, 100%. And so cool. Tobias, here I can see that this is part of a page, right? It's called Duplicate Your Success. And is that a Facebook page that you have where you sort of use to promote the events?
Yeah, that's one of my fan pages, but it's kind of not very active yet, but I use it to promote my ads.
Cool, cool. And all right, so now somebody clicks that ad and they're taken where? They're taken to your lead pages page.
Yeah, they then will be sent to my squeeze page.
Cool. All right. And, I mean, do you guys want to see a squeeze page? Do you want to see what Tobias's squeeze page looks like? Do you guys think that'd be cool? Because I have one of those here. If you guys think that's cool, you want to see it, I'll show it to you. And you guys kind of check out the funnel and see how he's doing this. Yes, yes, please. Yes, yes, awesome. Yes, 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 yes. ASAP. All right, I know you guys want to see it. I'm not going to keep you waiting. So go ahead and check out the screen. This is a lead pages page, and this is what somebody's directed to after they go ahead and click that ad. So you can see here, I mean, first thing I see the motion that catches my eye, right? I see this cool background, nice little video background. It says, who else would like to learn from an internet marketer how to make money online and create a full-time income in your spare time for free? And then it says free for Kuala Lumpur residents. Claim your free ticket before the timer ends. Obviously, the timer is at 0 because this is from a past promotion. But if somebody comes to this page, they see this timer ticking down. It's free for Kuala Lumpur residents. I mean, the timer is going to create urgency. It's exciting. There's things moving on in the background. And that's when I said, guys, motion breeds emotion. So now these things are all moving. They're going on. Somebody wants to do something when they see this. What are they going to do? They're going to follow the call to action that says, click the yellow button below to claim your free ticket. Yes, I want to reserve my free ticket. And then down below, he also says, no spam. Become the newest member of Tobias Rotthaler's internet marketing newsletter. Your information will never be shared or sold to a third party. So, keep in mind here, user experience, right? We're letting people know we're not spamming them. We're never going to sell their information. But at the same time, we are turning up the heat a little bit with a little bit of pressure with the countdown timer and letting them know that, look, you guys need to kind of take action ASAP in order to take advantage of this. So do you guys think that's cool? I mean, are you guys getting some gold nuggets from this? Are you guys kind of starting to see how you can put these pieces together and how these things start working here? Um, yep, when it says, really well done, Tobias, you're my hero. That's Tamsin. Love the motion, want to make something like that. Roxana says, yes, yes, oh yeah, I like the page, super, most definitely, great ideas. How do you get a moving squeeze page? Leslie, this is offered via Lead Pages, leadpages.net if you want to check it out. Don says, beautiful, well done. This is great, really works. Great capture page, very good. Nikki, are you getting fancy here with your German? Nikki says, dank showing. Tobias, what does that mean?
Dankeschön. Thank you.
Dankeschön. Thank you. See, Nikki getting fancy. Very interested in the timer function, says Jesse. Love the whole concept, Tobias, says Barbara. Don had one done like that as well. Don, how did it perform for you? Carrie says, is the disclaimer at the bottom by Tobias or is it copy and paste from Mobe? Carrie, I think some of the lead pages templates do come with disclaimers and you can always tweak them.
No,
Joe
I
head up.
tweaked them, and just want to say something on the disclaimer.
Yep.
Facebook is going a little bit like Google, so they're getting very strict, and you should have all those disclaimers just to get a better chance to get your ad approved, because Facebook is going to click through obviously on your ad and looking where they actually go to, and sometimes they even like subscribe to your squeeze page to see where you actually go. So
Right.
you should have those disclaimers on the bottom just to have a higher chance to get your ad approved. Because I think I once forgot it on one page and they just didn't approve it. And I thought, why is this? Because it's the same like the other one. It was, I think, just a different color. So I was split testing. And then I said, oh yeah, I forgot the disclaimer.
The disclaimer, yeah. And guys, don't try and get too fancy, right? Don't think that having a disclaimer is going to turn some people off
No,
because
no.
guess what? If your Facebook ad or your ad anywhere gets rejected because of no disclaimer, nobody's ever going to see it. So the
Exactly.
disclaimer, having the disclaimer in there is a good thing. And,
Yeah.
it just reassures people. And when that person, like Tobias said, is at, maybe he's at the beginning of his shift and he's checking these out and he sees a disclaimer, he might be more apt to approve it for you. So um, you know, talking about this for a minute, Tobias, how many different lead pages did you have to go through before you kind of found one that worked for you?
Um, I don't know. I have a couple of them. I think like five or six. I mean, to be very honest, this one I copied from Shakir Hussein. So,
Yep.
he was probably already testing a lot, and then he was showing this one to me, and I just tried that one out. But then again, it could have worked for him, let's say, if he's promoting London. But then let's say I'm using it for US, and it maybe doesn't work. So even though someone gets it to work, doesn't actually guarantee that it's going to work for you as well, because it depends on which IMF event you promote, and the other thing is obviously which targeting you have, because Shakir might have had a total different target, and it totally blows everything out of the water, and I have again a different targeting, and it just bombs. So you never know.
Yeah, exactly. And keep that in mind, guys. Different areas of the world are definitely different target markets. What performs well in one area may not perform well in another, and you
Yeah.
always need to be testing. You need to split test, you need to measure, and then tweak, and it's a continual cycle. Test, tweak, measure, test, tweak, measure, test, tweak, measure. You're gonna do that forever, so get used to it.
Yeah.
And you said you copied this from Shakir. Well, let me ask you guys, right? See this headline up here? Who else would like to learn from an internet marketer how to make money online and create a full-time income in your spare time for free? Let me ask you a question. You guys see my screen, right? Does that look familiar? So, I mean, basically, we're taking the same headline here and copy it over. So, yeah, you got that from Shakir. Shakir got that from Mobe. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. What we do works. There's been hundreds of thousands of clicks on these Mobe pages, and we split test them. We're always tweaking them to see what's going on. So, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Go with what works, and you leverage the ad spend and the experience of others to better your campaigns.
Definitely.
Um,
And you
so
should have
yeah,
like a consistency from your ad and then going over to where you send them. So most of the time as you said, I kind of try to either, if it's possible, just copy the text if it's good. I mean, in terms of, depending on if you use Facebook ads, you might have to tweak it a little bit sometimes. And then the other thing is as well, I'm trying to maybe get some visual thing from into the ad that comes up on the landing page I'm sending people to. So maybe like either the picture, the background picture on your landing page, you're trying to implement in your Facebook ad as the picture, so that people so there's a flow, so they see similar things on the ad that they later see on the landing page.
right. And I see, Zona is asking about the ad here, and I'll show you Zona. Let me see if I still pull it up here. The
I mean, the ad you were showing, I think, wasn't for this particular landing page.
No, 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 no,
No.
no. But I mean, essentially, it's just two different components of the funnel, just for different
Yeah.
locations. But
I know the
still,
the landing page. The people who were redirected had this picture in the background.
gotcha. So that's a cool tip too. So actually, this exact picture was the
Yeah,
background for the next page they
yeah,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah. And Zona, I saw Zona in the chat box ask, she's asking, so this goes to a fan page or, no, Zona, so, right from this ad, somebody could go ahead and like the page if they click this button here, but if they click this learn more button, that's going to go directly to the landing page.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that for you, Zona. Um, awesome, awesome. So, Tobias, let's talk just a little bit about targeting. What can you tell us in you can get specific as you want here, but what have you found is decent targeting other than the 25 plus? Obviously, we're going to look for IMFWs. We're going to be in the local area. Like you said, what about 100-mile radius, 150-mile radius? What about likes or interests? What did you find there?
Well, the interest, obviously, in the beginning, I always kind of go with the make money online thing, kind of the stuff. But then you have to keep in mind those people they get bombarded by so many other marketers. And then, either people like me who to start exercising or trying to figure out if it works, or people like, let's say, professionals like Ryan Dice, and they have their campaigns dialed in. So you're competing with those guys. So what
Mm-hmm.
I found out that maybe you just have to think a little bit out of the box. Who could be interested in this? And just recently, I started with because I'm currently promoting IMF Sydney, and I try to target nurses because of the okay nurses there. I just came across an article and saying how hard the job is for nurses, how bad it is paid, and that they don't get a lot of respect for what they're doing. And so I thought, okay, those people or those nurses, they want to get out of the job maybe, and then I just tried to target those, and somehow it didn't really work because I don't know, I got a lot of kind of comments on this and saying, trying to scam nurses and stuff. So somehow, even though the thinking might have been right, somehow it didn't work out. So I stopped the campaign after a while. But
That's
you might not always go. You should not always go direct to the obvious one. The last campaign I set up was like I was targeting people or just targeting the interest of GetResponse and Aweber because I thought, okay, people who have or like at those email autoresponders, they might be in internet marketing. So why not try those people?
boom. What do you think of that? I think I had actually never considered that to target people, that are fans of GetResponse and Aweber, but I bet you that gives you a pretty decent target audience, depending on location. That's pretty cool. Do you
Yeah.
guys think that's a cool tip or what? Let me know in the chat box.
I can't
And
say
it's funny.
anything yet because I just started it like literally 2 hours just before I went to bed, so a couple of hours ago. So I can't say anything.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I just think that's a good idea. I mean, guys, these are the sort of things you want to start thinking about. You don't want to just target your Facebook ads to an interest like internet marketing or things like that. Start thinking about you again, right? So like it ties back into the mastermind thing when you start looking around the room. What are you doing? What are you a fan of? How would you target you? What's your customer avatar? And how would you go about trying to put an ad in front of your eyes? Because sometimes we're our best target audience because we're customers, right? We are where we are because we either purchased or took action to get here.
Yeah.
Tying back into your nurse thing, Tobias, Zona says that she's a nurse, and like that thinking of, nurses being underappreciated and whatnot. That's correct. It's kind of funny that Zona's here on the call with us, and she's a nurse. Um, Emmanuel, thinks it's pretty amazing, the Aweber get response thing. Um, and then Don says, I found Mobe on Office Vault. Not sure what that is, but yeah, pretty cool. Start thinking about right where you guys might have saw your Mobe ad,
Yeah.
and then try and target that. Barbara, that's a good tip. Travel agents may be another. Barbara says,
Yeah.
um,
Definitely.
you know, all good advice, and I think that's part of the caveat, right, of having calls like this is we can kind of jump on, we can find out what's definitely worked for Tobias, and we can kind of shoot some ideas back and forth, and kind of go from there. So you said you have some campaigns running right now, Tobias?
Yes, I'm currently promoting the IMF in Sydney. But since this is my first time I promote Sydney, I'm just, kind of buying data because so far it hasn't really taken off. So I got a couple
With
of subscribers and a couple of IMF sales, but it hasn't been really, I haven't had too many clicks on it, so I'm still buying data.
still kind of testing and tweaking and
Yeah.
still learning, definitely. Um, cool. So let me see. We're kind of getting to the home stretch here. It's been almost 2 hours. I mean, I know Tobias he's spent a lot of time with us here on the call. He's been, one of the most transparent webinars that I think I've ever taken part of, and hopefully, you guys are appreciating this here. We'll get to some questions in just a few minutes. Don't drop them in the chat box now, just because I don't want to miss any. But I definitely appreciate how candid you're being, Tobias, and all the information that you shared with us.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so, kind of moving forward, what's your outlook with Mobe? Are you going to kind of stick with the IMF funnel and kind of see what you can do with that, or do you have any other plans to expand into other products, or what are you thinking?
No, currently I definitely stick with IMF because I think it's the easiest way to promote to get people into the funnel, for all these reasons I talked about earlier. And because you have to drive traffic anyway, you have to try to convert them anyway, whichever program or whichever product you're promoting. But here you got the biggest leverage and I think the biggest help from the Mobe team, because they're doing the hard work. So I'm
Right.
definitely sticking with promoting IMF. And you see, I know where the potential is because if you look at Adeline Suchianto and Luke Lim, I mean what they are doing and what they achieved. This is I'm just getting started, so they are my heroes.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. Well,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, honestly, there are a lot of people in Moab that have struggled where, you're their hero now because they see you have such a great day, and they're like, man, I want to be like Tobias. And, Tobias looks at, he has a bigger mindset now where he looks at Luke and Adeline who have done, like I said, over $250,000 in commissions, guys. Now, keep in mind, that's commissions from HBS events. They've sold over $1 million worth of products from HBS events and everything, but in their pocket is $250,000. And of course, that's not all profit, right? I mean, we've told you guys here exactly what Tobias has spent on these campaigns, but still, way in the positive in terms of ROI. Um, so and you got to stay hungry too. Like Tobias said, he's not going to stop. He's not going to settle with, having a $6,600 day. That's awesome. Take a look on the screen. I'm not sure how many of you guys had a chance to see this. I know for sure it was posted in the titanium group, but I think it was in another group or two as well. Wasn't it, Tobias, that you made this post?
Yeah, I think it was in titanium, platinum, and MLR.
Yeah, I think it was in a couple of them. But guys, can you guys see this on the screen here? Do you see these commissions? Do you see the dates they were created? See these here? 525, 525, 525, 525. Look at the commissions. 1,200 bucks, 3,000, 1,200, 1,200. That's one day right there, guys, from IMFW and HBS campaigns. It's not fluff. This isn't some fictional number we pulled out of the sky. That's a screenshot right there of Tobias's PAP account. So, I mean, that's the potential of promoting these events. Is that something that you guys would like to see in your PAP account? Let me know. I mean, go ahead and tell me in the chat box. And, we'll get to some questions here in just a minute, but um, I love Mobe and it makes sense, says David. Oh yeah, oh yes, yes, I want that, of course. And yeah, right, of course. Who wouldn't want to have the ability to earn $6,600 in one day? And you guys all do here on this webinar. One of the biggest things that helped contribute to Tobias's success is that he's positioned well, right? He's a titanium member, so he's qualified to receive these titanium commissions. If he weren't, Shakir would be his new best friend because that $3,000 commission would have been passed up to Shakir. So the other end of the spectrum here, guys, you have to put yourself into position to see these types of profits because then you can afford to invest heavily into your campaigns. Tobias can spend $600 on a campaign because he knows the possibility of what he can earn on the back end. He's positioned himself to go ahead and earn these commissions. That's another thing you have to keep in mind too. If he wasn't, he would have had a $3,600 day. I'd still like to have a $3,600 day. I'm sure you guys would too, but it makes it even sweeter to get that extra 3 grand and not have to pass it up.
Yeah.
So just checking out the box again, absolutely lovely. I'm trying, great potential. Can do it being an MLR. Yes, you can, absolutely. You can still make plenty of profit being an MLR, Matthew. I mean, like I just said, he right here could have made $3,600 if he were just an MLR. So the potential is definitely still there. Anne Marie says, learning every day. I didn't realize the potential of IMFW, says Nikki. Good, Nikki. I'm so glad that. And Nikki, you're positioned well to go ahead and profit pretty heavily from IMFWs if you go ahead and promote them. Um,
Yeah,
or,
but let me
or it
just say
says,
something regarding MLR. Even if
yep,
you're, let's say, in quotes, only MLR, don't stop promote because I mean you're making $1,000 commission per each MLR that is sold. Even though you kind of might miss out on the titanium and the platinum commission, if you don't promote, you're missing out on the $1,000 commission. So don't say I'm not promoting until I get to titanium, but start promoting already now because you're MLR. And I mean, $1,000 commission, why not? So don't stop there because you are not titanium or platinum. Because now I'm only titanium, even though let's say those three guys, when they go platinum, Shakir gets a nice payday. But still, I'm not saying okay, I'm losing out there because I don't have to pay it out of my own pocket. I mean the commission gets paid to Shakir, and but I still get the commissions for the titanium. So don't say I'm not going to promote it until I get to titanium or so.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, guys, honestly, the reality is if you come in with that mindset and you say, "Oh, I'm not going to promote until this, until this, until this," it's never going to happen. That's just the truth. You're never going to do it. And you need to get in. guys, $1,000 commissions is still great in the internet marketing world. You don't find that with a lot of other programs, all right? I know people a lot of times see, these huge days by some of the top earners. You can still make a lot of money, even positioned as an MLR.
Yeah.
Definitely still take action
Yeah,
for sure.
start where you are, use what you have, and then do what you can, and then you get there.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's not my
Um,
quote though.
No, hey, nobody knows, right? You could claim it for now. Tobias, one question I always like to ask on these webinars, right? Sort of wrapping up here. If somebody were new to Mobe, they've never made one commission, they're really struggling, they don't have a ton of money to go ahead and invest. What's your best advice to them to go ahead and earn a sale? Put a butt in a seat at an IMFW event. What's just your advice to somebody that's in that position?
Well, now I can say because of the experience that I would definitely start promoting IMFs because you probably have the same ad spend if you promote MTTPs. And I mean, in my case, I just didn't get solo ads to work. I know other people like Shakir, his conversions are out, out of this world. So it's just different, what you know. But I just got the IMF promotion to work, and that's what I'm sticking at. I mean, I just created a group and I'm teaching people what I do and how to promote those IMF live events because I didn't know that kind of no one really knows about those IMF events. And like now on the call as well, I mean, there were some people who didn't know about the IMF events as well. So I'm just teaching other people what I'm doing. So, I mean, if anyone wants to join this group, just go ahead. It's called How to Promote Mobe Live Events, and then you can just apply.
Cool, cool. And another thing I always like to ask is, how people can keep up with you. That's obviously one way there, and you are in a few of the Mobe Facebook groups as well, right? Can people find you there and reach you there?
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Cool, cool. And all right, now I'm gonna take some questions here in a minute, guys. I want to see what you guys have to ask Tobias. But one thing I want to ask you guys to do, everybody here in attendance, I want you guys go ahead and check out the chat box, right? I'm gonna post a link here, and this is a link to the it's the Mobe group, just the regular My Online Business Empire Facebook group. And if you don't have access, go ahead and request access. We'll get you approved. But you guys, let me show you my screen here so you guys can see what's up. I just made this post here. I said, hey everyone, please let us know what you thought of tonight's webinar with Tobias Rotthaler. Comment below. I'll have a replay posted here within the next 12 hours or so. I want to see you guys put as many comments as possible on this thread because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people that tried to register for this webinar and couldn't get in, all right? And I hope you guys here appreciate this content. I want to get some comments on here. I want to create some anticipation for everybody that didn't get a chance to attend, and I want them to be excited and looking forward to this replay. So go ahead, please leave us a comment there. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you appreciated Tobias's time. Waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, spending 2 hours, over 2 hours on a webinar with us now. One of the most transparent guys I've ever met, willing to share his ad, his landing page, and just be absolutely candid. He spent a lot of money on these campaigns buying this information, and he just came on this webinar and gave it to us absolutely free. So there's no pitch here. We're not asking you to buy anything. This is totally content based, and I hope you guys appreciate this. But if you see that link, go ahead. Please let us know what you think. I just want to kind of get your feedback here, and I'll have a replay posted there. If any of you guys want to check this out, to see the replay, I'll have it posted there. Like I said, within about the next 12 hours or so, I'll probably have it up tomorrow morning my time. Tobias, maybe stick around for just a few more minutes. We'll take some questions and then we'll wrap it up. Is that cool?
Sure, how long, whenever how long you want, no problem.
Cool. Cool. All right, so
I'm staying
guys,
up now anyway. I'm not going back to bed.
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna ask you if you're planning on hitting the sack or if you're gonna stay up for a
No,
while.
my
So
little boy, he's my alarm clock, and unfortunately he doesn't have a snooze button anyway, so he will wake
that's
me up in half an hour latest as well.
how old is he? How old is it? Your son? How old?
Yeah, just about. The little one is 2, and the bigger the older one is 4.
Nice, dude. You're in the same position as me. My son's 3 and my daughter's 2. So I
Oh, awesome.
totally feel where you're coming from. All right, so let me just go through the chat box here and see what's going on. So thank you, Tobias. This has been great to listen in on. And I had Kyle saying, um, what is your setup? Like email, follow, or you just let Mobe do it for you? So, oh yeah, can you just talk about that for a minute, Tobias? What's the follow-up sequence like when somebody gets onto your list via one of these campaigns?
Sure. I got a very short email follow-up day-wise because obviously because I started around like a week before. So you have to
Yep.
go, even though you know you have to start small and then scale up. Every time you have one of those campaigns, it's kind of for me it was a very short but a very intense time because you have to like monitor your Facebook ads right away because you haven't got so much time because you've got only 1 week. Obviously, the longer or the more often you promote, let's say London, you get some data and then you can just reactivate the Facebook ad for London and then just tweak it there. But I have like I think like 8 days, and then I hit them hard like in the first 3 days I send them out 2 emails a day, and then the last one's just one. But then I also this is the autoresponder, but then I also send them like normal emails and just trying to like remind them on the why they should go to the IMF because it's
Right.
the thing you have to do because um, you just have to tell them just go. Well, what I then kind of say is, we're giving you access to the same exact system that made, and then you can come up with a number or tell what people like success story, what people did, but only if you show up because you have to give them an incentive to get there, to go there, and then you really show up. I mean, you can give them kind of a, I don't know, bonus. It's a bonus if you are in the city. Let's say you live in London, you can tell them if you show up, I meet you, and I can answer all your questions, and then you already meet them in person, and they can talk to you, so they get their questions answered already. But if you can't do this, you can maybe offer them something else, so that you could say, okay, if you uh, kind of show me proof that you've been at the IMF, I'll give you some coaching time or something like this.
Right, right. That's a good idea too. Like you said, you don't have much time to have a follow-up sequence in place prior to the IMF. But guys, again, like I said at the beginning, or maybe, towards the beginning of the webinar, opt into the Mobe IMFW campaign. See the types of email that Mobe sends out. What's the content there? What are the reminders there? What are we stressing in those emails to make sure that people actually show up and attend live? That's gonna give you some good ideas there too. Keep posting some comments on that thread, guys. I'm approving some of these Facebook requests as I see them come in. So I'm doing these kind of as we're on the call. Just going through the chat box a little bit more. Anne Marie says, "Thank you for being so open with your suggestions. Many thanks. Enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. It was amazing. Um, Truly appreciate your dedication, Tobias. Hope you get some sleep before the sun rises. Thanks for sharing." Um, Leslie, send him a PM in one of the Facebook groups. Leslie, he'll send you that link. And let me see. This was great job, Matt Bowen. Tobias was interesting. Good. I'm glad you guys are digging this content. Let me see here. Very interesting. Never thought it could be so profitable. How and where do we access these recordings? J.A. Goslin asked. That's a good question. That link I posted to the Facebook thread there, you can check out the recording there. I'll have it posted, like I said, within the next 12 hours or so. And I'm also going to drop in the chat box the link to the Mobe Affiliates YouTube channel. And that there is another place where we like to keep these recordings as well. So hold on one sec. Let me just log in and I'll get this for us. Um, Let me see here. And if you guys have a couple more questions, we'll take those and then we'll go ahead and
Sure,
wrap it up.
definitely.
Let me just get to one more maybe, and then I'll get the link to that. Um, or it says he didn't understand the disclaimer on the landing page. I'll show you that here one more second, Orist. Cool. All right, and that was a good idea about the bonus to bias. And sometimes, guys, sometimes people can you can really help increase your conversions. Just somebody knowing that somebody's there along with them in case they have questions really, really helps. Too many times in this industry, the smallest little question stands in the way and becomes really a huge hurdle for somebody. And it doesn't have to be that way. So um, hold on one second here. I'll get this link for YouTube. See if you guys. Kyle. A sample of what, Kyle? I don't know. Not sure what you mean there. Leslie says, "Thank you very much. I learned a lot. I could have never done this in the middle of the night. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't. If you wouldn't have told me it's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning your time, Tobias, I would have never thought it was because how far before the webinar did you go ahead and wake up so you could get ready for this?
No, just a half an hour, so just
Half an hour.
yeah.
That's not bad. Good deal. All right. Let's see. Send this over. Sorry guys, I just had to reset the password for it, so it's taking me a minute. All right. Promoting. Kyle says, I've been promoting in Facebook and some of my campaign is not being approved. Yeah, Kyle, we sort of touched on that a little bit earlier. I think, Tobias, what your number one recommendation in that regard is just to kind of keep the user experience in mind.
Yeah, I think because this is what I learned from Kurt Mali, because he's one of the he's a Facebook wizard, and he has a huge ad spend, so he has a direct access to one of those Facebook ad representatives, and he asked this guy, like, what is the main reason why you disapprove ads? And he said, we have nothing against make money online stuff, nothing against home business, nothing against MLM, but he said the way those companies get promoted is all too hypey for them. Because, I mean, keep in mind that Facebook has, it's the user base they have, but the other thing is they have investors because they're a public traded company. So obviously they have to make money. But if too many people complain about, getting bombarded with kind of scammy ads, they probably will leave Facebook. And then if the investors see that the user number decreases, they put pressure on Facebook. So it's in the interest of Facebook that the user experience is as high or as good as it can be, so that as many people stay with Facebook as possible. So you have to keep this in mind. And I mean, it's just you have to play by the rules of Facebook, because if you don't like the rules, you just have to stop promoting, because otherwise they disapprove your ads, and then at some point they just shut down your account.
Right,
And
right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you'll get banned.
if she wants, she can send me her link or her like a screenshot, and then I can have a look at it and see what I would suggest.
Yeah, that's pretty generous of you. And guys, don't start spamming Tobias with everything here. He's gonna concentrate on his promotions too.
No,
But
it's no problem, no
um,
problem. Just send me the
he's
questions.
definitely more than generous, willing to help us out. And if you guys that were wondering about the disclaimer here, I'll just show it to you one more time. You should see it on the screen here now, down the bottom. Just in case you can't see it, I'll read it for you. It says now this is below the call to action. This is below the yellow button here. It says no spam. Become the newest member of Tobias Rotthaler's Internet Marketing Newsletter. Your information will never be shared/sold to a third party. And then it's got the copyright and it has his URL there. All rights reserved with a privacy policy link. And sometimes lead pages will have some of this already configured on the page, but you may need to add some of it as well. So just something to keep in mind there. So I did drop that link in the chat box. You guys should see it. That's the link over to the Mobe Affiliates YouTube channel, and we do upload most replays there. I will have this one posted there. I think this was a really great webinar. I think a lot of people could benefit from this. Unfortunately, everybody that wanted to attend couldn't. So I do want to make sure that that we make it accessible to the people that were locked out. So one last time, guys, I'm going to drop this link in the chat box. This is to the let me see here. This is to the post where I really want to get you guys feedback. I want to see what you guys thought of this webinar. I'll drop that in the chat box. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Yep, we'll have the replays posted there, guys. I see a couple of you guys asking about that. So cool. Tobias, in closing, anything you wanted to add? I mean, I know we covered a lot, but just, give you an opportunity to go ahead and wrap it up with anything in particular.
I would just say like shoot for the moon because even if you miss, you land among the stars. So just dream big, but start small and then just scale up what works.
I love that. I love that, man. That's awesome. I think, guys, Tobias spent almost 2.5 hours with us here today. Beginning of the webinar, I asked you guys if any of you were in the same position as he was, where he was sort of following everything he was told to do. He was looking into the solo ad thing, trying to make it happen, and just couldn't make it work. A lot of you guys said you were in the same position as Tobias, and I think on this webinar I tried to give you as much of a blueprint to what Tobias did as much as possible. He was awesome with sharing all the content that he did and being so transparent. So I hope we gave you guys some actionable content. You guys will go out there and try and make a difference, try and get some campaigns together and start promoting these IMFWs and HBS events. You've seen right here on this webinar what the possibilities are when you do it and you do it right. I'll show you guys again just so you can see it. But this was Tobias's big day here. This was his $6,600 day on May 25th, and it was just about a week ago. So Tobias, man, I really appreciate you taking some time, getting up early in the morning to join us on this call. I know everybody appreciated it. One more time, guys, let me know in the chat box what you thought, and let me know you appreciated Tobias doing this for us, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
It was an absolute honor to have me here. Thank you very much.
Awesome, and I know we're going to be seeing a lot more of you, Tobias, too. I think you're really just getting started. I can't wait to meet you at the next mastermind too. I'd love to spend some time getting to know you a little bit better too. So,
Awesome.
thank you, Matt. Thank you, Tobias. Same boat. Thank you, Tobias. Thank you very much, Matt and Tobias. This is really informative. Loving it. Thank you for your time. Awesome. Very informative. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. You rock. Great info. Awesome. Thank you. I mean, I could go on and on, but
Thanks very
um,
much. Very much
I think you get
appreciated.
the point. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Tobias. Thank you guys for all attending. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure you let us know what you thought in that on that Facebook post there. And you guys all have a good day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And we'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Take care, Tobias. Thank you again, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.